Good morning, my friends in the Promised Land, those who have crossed the Jordan River. Read with me from the book, Deuteronomy, chapter 34, and verses 1 to 10. Verses 1, Then Moses climbed Mount Nebo from the plains of Moab to the top of Pisgah, across from Jericho. There the Lord showed him the whole land, from Gilead to Dan. Verse 2, All of Naphtali, the territory of Ephraim and Manasseh, all the land of Judah as far as the Mediterranean Sea. Verse 3, The Negev and the whole region from the Valley of Jericho, the city of palms, as far as Zoar. Verse 4, Then the Lord said to him, This is the land I promised on oath to Abraham, Isaac and Jacob when I said, I will give it to your descendants. You will not cross over into it. Verse 5, And Moses the servant of the Lord died there in Moab, as the Lord had said. Verse 6, He buried him in Moab, in the valley opposite Beth Peor, but to this day no one knows where his grave is. Verse 7. Moses was 120 years old when he died, yet his eyes were not weak nor his strength gone. Verses 8, The Israelites grieved for Moses in the plains of Moab 30 days, until the time of weeping and mourning was over. Verse 9, Now Joshua son of Nun was filled with the spirit of wisdom, because Moses had laid his hands on him. So the Israelites listened to him and did what the Lord had commanded Moses. Verse 10, Since then, no prophet has risen in Israel like Moses, whom the Lord knew face to face. Notice, Moses was chosen by God to lead his people from Egypt to the Promised Land. But Moses was not allowed to enter the Promised Land, because he sinned against God, while they were still in the wilderness. Friends, did you know the following interesting fact in verses 5 and 6, And Moses the servant of the Lord died there in Moab, as the Lord had said. He buried him in Moab, in the valley opposite Beth Peor, but to this day no one knows where his grave is. Did you know that when Moses died, God buried him, and to this day no one knows where his grave is? Another interesting fact we find in verse 7, Moses was 120 years old when he died, yet his eyes were not weak nor his strength gone. Friends, it is possible to die old while still being very healthy. The reason for this may be because God knew Moses face to face. In verses 9 we read that Joshua took over from Moses. I thought I would share these interesting facts with you. Be blessed. Amen.